Okay, Bill.
Ready?
Wait just a minute.
That's fine.
He's got to read something.
Okay. I call this meeting to order, Walnut Creek Utility District. Order at, 4:03. Record shows that we got a quorum of 4 people. Board of Directors is present. Meeting has been duly called, and the notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Tommy's gonna lead us. Ready? Like to thank you, Lord, for today and future days to come, and hope everybody's healthy, and hope we all can celebrate Thanksgiving the way it's supposed to be celebrated, giving thanks for what we have, not what we think we need. So, amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anybody?
Perry just went to get the sign-in sheet. That door's got to stay open.
It is for November. Thanks, Gus.
Did that have the line items for each and every one of them? I remember last time it didn't.
Yes, it did.
It did?
It
It does
did.
now?
And it did last month.
Hi, Shane Galvin, 128 Clayton Crossing, Springtown, Texas. I don't have really anything to speak about, but I do have items that I wish to address that are on the general session agenda. I have a right to do that based on the Open Meeting Act, Texas. As you can see, the public has the right to speak regarding an item on an agenda for an open meeting of the body to address the body regarding the item at the meeting before or during the body's consideration of the item. So I will wait till the 2 items that I want to speak about on the general session come up. Thank you.
Were the numbers on there? Need that. No, not that. The other one where she signed in. Yeah. Okay, Jane, you didn't sign up to speak on any items on the agenda.
Have the right to speak.
You do, but you have to sign in. Just like you have to sign in here, you have to choose which agenda items you want to speak on. That's part of the rules. It's
So
part of
I
the
can't do
sign.
that now.
Based on this, you cannot once the meeting has started.
I will in the future.
Okay.
I'm done.
Consent items, how many items have been sent to the directors for review prior to the meeting? Any director may pull any item on the agenda. Second, for deliberation prior to the consideration, any item pulled may be considered in this item on the agenda.
The consent agenda, the minutes, I just want to bring up that I did see further on in the general session about the information about the ordinance being changed for the PUA for Wise County. for us to join. That would also require public comment of 90 days, because it's an ordinance with the city, within the cities that actually present this, and we have to follow underneath that. So in other words, we couldn't just arbitrarily sign this, in December. I know I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, but it's kind of in a consent agenda information we talked about last time there, the special meeting and the previous meeting.
Okay, do we want to remove these minutes from the consent
No,
agenda?
just talking that in general right now.
Okay.
But I'll go ahead and, motion to approve the minutes.
Second. Ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda. There's been a motion, second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. All at the same time. Motion carries 4-0. That would.
Read the one item, item A.
For the minutes for the regular meeting.
No.
No,
Under
general
general
session.
session.
Line item A.
Okay, consideration and all action to approve the updated list fees.
I got discussion, but I guess he's gonna speak to that
Mhm.
first.
So, the only fees that were actually updated on here, were like the commercial 3 and 4 inch meters, the RV 3 and 4 inch meters, and then our road board fees were updated. Basically, on the previous ones, they were quotes, and to save the employees time to quote these prices, we just went ahead and figured them up for everybody, so that way, when somebody calls and wants a 3 or 4 inch meter, you know, cost without waiting for a quote. And, on the road bores, we're doing away with the double road board, because you're just gonna run one bigger tubing under the road and then bolt head it off for 2 meters or 1 meter. So therefore, the price for the singles went up a bit, and then the highway bores, we have to outsource those, because we don't have the equipment to do it. So, the price covers the contractor and the permit fee. On the change.
Discussion, commercial. I don't see anything for 3 to 6 inch for tiered rates, neither do I see anything for RV or school for 1 inch to 4 inch for, the rates.
So those rates aren't as common as the commercial rates that we have on here. So the ones that we have up here are the only ones.
Right, but when you have a rate plan, you're supposed to have it labeled what the rate is. Otherwise, if we as a board approve this and the school over there decides to open up their valve, their 2 inch valve for 24 hours a day, 365, their monthly rate would only be $132.50 per month.
Plus usage.
It doesn't have it here as usage. You have to have it in this document correctly before we can approve it. You're missing like a whole section of the document right here. This one, right here, this whole document right here, it's all missing.
Does it follow the same rates as the commercial?
Yeah, they're.
If it does, then you need to put quotes in each and every one of them. Otherwise, you're gonna be approving that these are just flat rates on that. Has to be amended to be correct.
Okay. You can still seek approval with those changes.
Do we have the old rates?
The old rates is literally the same sheet minus the thing, the
that are red or blue.
Okay. Is there anybody that, in the office that can quickly correct this so we can approve the correct rates?
We'll do that through the motion to, you approve it based upon the
Right.
corrections.
So what are the rates, okay, but what are the rates gonna be?
Same as the commercial rates right above it.
Okay, but, okay, I have 3, 4, and 6 are empty. I don't,
It's the same rate. Like, see how this goes, 2,000 and 10,000 and all that?
mm-hmm,
That goes for all the sizes of meters. Not,
So it's anything over 20,000 gallons is at $8 a thousand.
okay, so that's for
For those
each
two
and every,
others.
so that's gonna be quotes for every one of these.
Yes.
So this rate plan's gonna follow all these
correct.
line size.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what needs to be, we need to have quotes in each and every one of the cells to make that 100%. Are these rates gonna be, calculated more correctly than what the Boyd rates were done? Because I remember the last time we spoke, James spoke to you about the rates was that he didn't include, cost of overhead, transfers, or anything of that nature, or is this gonna be, we're not gonna be doing this at a loss, correct?
The rates that we changed, no.
Okay, so I know the rates that we changed the Boyd to, we got more in the correct direction, but we're still at a negative loss.
Yeah, we're figuring where we're going.
Okay, so the Boyd is the only one we're losing money on.
I don't see we're losing money on it, but
That's what James Blackwood said last time he was here, the meeting prior, when we had that approved.
I'll go back and look at that because we based it on, oh, well, I'll look at it.
It's
but-
on video if you wanna look at it. So, as long as we put the quotes in for all the rates, for all the line sizes, I don't have a problem with that. Anybody else? Any more discussion?
No, it should be clear.
Am I correct on that?
I think, you know,
Otherwise, somebody's
Yeah.
gonna come back and challenge this, and they're gonna say, no, my 1-inch meter of rate is only 53.75, and the school can just have a wide open valve the entire time.
you know,
I'm not trying to say I'm gonna take away from the kids or anything, but I mean, they're taking away from our rate customers if they're gonna do
Well-
that.
It needs to be pretty clear.
Yeah.
I don't know. Budget was all this stuff.
And just have the same rate paid for each and every one of the line sizes.
You can do that, I think it'd be good.
That's fine with me.
We're saying that's something we do need to do.
It's on a spreadsheet, yeah.
It's not on the form. I mean, it's,
I mean, I would love that rate. 1-inch line, $53.75 a month. To fill a lake up.
do we need to make a motion?
Yeah.
Yes. And I'll motion to approve the rate changes. Correct.
Okay. Already had a discussion and everything, so everybody in favor?
Aye.
For immediate consideration, our action to review and approve the fiscal year 2026 budget.
That's gonna be Beverly, and she's gonna speak first. Hmm?
I wasn't sure if he was speaking or her.
Go on the re-estimate. Have before you a draft of the budget for 2026. Actually, fairly simple budget process this year. We are not at this time proposing, or let me put it this way,
there are no fee increases included in the revenue projections in this budget. You know, we just talked about some, fees that, when they do go and come into places with a developer or that type of thing. Aside from that, we have some fees that we would like to discuss with you, but they have not been included in this budget proposal. So, just wanted to make that, clear from the beginning. Got, total revenue in this budget of $15.9 million, $50,904,300, which is a 1.23%, increase, over the current budget year. There are some changes up and down. We are anticipating additional revenue from water sales just based on, volume and, customer count. So that, revenue projection is for an additional $1 million, which is going to kind of soften the blow of losing some of our other revenue sources that we have had this year. We are increasing our, and we're anticipating taking in more fees from developers, about another $150,000. Small increase in our credit card fees. Again, that's based on current fee structure and just volume of and dollar amount of transactions. We are anticipating interest income on our operating accounts, additional $25,000. And I know you won't be surprised, but on our interest income for our bond construction money, we are seeing that money, not trickling away. It's going away pretty quickly. We're looking at a decrease of about $680,000 this year as the projects are beginning to be ready to be completed. Some others, decreases are application fees. A lot of this is not necessarily forecasted. It's more preempting the worst case, I guess. We have this explanation to be very conservative on revenue estimates, try and keep it on the lower end and do the opposite on the expense side, so you don't end up with surprises. So on the revenue side, the net change is an increase of $204,600. That's where the 1.23. Any questions on that part? On the expense side, we are looking at a expense budget, $15,487,291, which is a increase of a little over 6% over the budget we're operating under in 2025. There's a lot of line items. I'm not going to go through those. If you have questions about any of those, I'll be happy to answer those for you. What I wanted to do was kind of point out what the major changes are and some of the things that have been added to the budget that have not been in there before. Seeing a substantial increase this year in electricity, both for the plant and our pump station. Those for the electricity for the plant, we're looking at a $94,000 increase, and then for the distribution system, it's $95.50. So we're definitely seeing a change there. Again, going to the system supplies for the plant.
Who's providing the power to the plant? Who's providing the power? Is it Tri-County or Encore?
The plant.
Tri-County,
Perry.
Okay, Tri-County.
or is it Wise? Yeah.
Are we getting paid? Are we getting charged for demand fees on that one?
the contracts are through CCAP.
TCAP.
Yeah. We don't negotiate them. CCAP is a statewide conglomerate that, negotiates for us, and our
costs.
contracts are with them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. The reason why I'm saying is if we're getting charged in man charges, you can always pump more at night versus pumping more in the day, and look into that, and that could be easily sometimes, depending on how ERCOT jumps up on the prices, that could be something as much as $20,000 in one day in difference in cost.
yeah. I'll look at those contracts and see, or I haven't really gone down that road to see when they expire. I did spend a lot of time looking at our invoices, the kilowatt hour charges, that kind of thing. For a reason, I'll get to that in a minute, but, we have WISE, we have, Delta Energy, and we have Tri-County. So, they're all different. And Encore.
Well, Encore is JEXA, in essence.
So, have to deal with the new utilities on a pump station. And costs that I'm talking about are not like new costs, not just the new pump stations. Get to that in a minute. Water purchases, I think I talked about this last month, but we'll be budgeting assuming that we are actually going to pay, the per thousand rate for everything that we take from GRWD, no credits included or anticipated at this point. If they come along, great. If they don't, we're covered. So, we did,
And we are choosing for Encore versus Tri-County, because I know Tri-County increased their construction costs through the roof. Are we making sure that we're choosing in a dual service territory, which company to go through?
It depends on the location.
There's some areas you can
And
have, there's dual service.
I understand that, but where we are, we're using the people we have to use.
Okay, well, there's some areas you can choose which one, because they're in the dual service territory.
Right.
Are we doing that?
No, it's
All
not
right.
in the dual one.
Okay, so number infrastructure is dual service territory.
Oh.
Okay, it's only in single service territory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bridgeport, the plant, we put a lot of money in that, as we talked about during the re-estimates, to get some maintenance done. For the most part, we have carried all of that forward. We moved it a little bit between accounts, but I think we had increased it by $850,000 in the re-estimate. 800 of that carried forward into this new budget. So, we're making sure that we're taking care of the needs that they have said that they needed to complete. Put some additional money in for just general improvements that may need to be made at the plant. A lot. Been carrying $22,000. We increased that to $50,000. Meter installation and repair, we've been doing about $1 million a year, maybe a little bit more. Dropped that to $800,000 in the upcoming budget, because we're kind of winding down on the change outs that we've been doing for the last couple of years. And we've been, lucky able to build a pretty good inventory. So we're kind of, I think, where we need to be for the rest of this year, and won't need any additional inventory until, especially on, MIUs, I know we just got some in, so cut back on that. We still have plenty to finish the project and to do repairs and replacements. So, took some money from there to put it in other places. Repair and maintenance, distribution system, all those accounts, we move money around a little bit, kind of a wash. On vehicle maintenance, we literally spent in this budget year almost 50% more than what was in the original budget. Some of that is fuel costs, some of it was repairs, that type of thing. We budgeting it a little different this year. We're going, the budgets for each individual vehicle are, what, y'all are that?
Must be Fords.
Ooh, okay. I'm not gonna get into that one. The budgets for each individual vehicle have been designed for fuel, oil changes, inspection, registration, normal type, maintenance activity. We created a reserve or contingency fund for, major repairs that are over $1,000. And then we put 50,000 in there, which was very close to historically what we've been spending, barring anything like a vehicle accident or whatever, where the insurance covers it. But we've had some major repairs here this year, so rather than trying to figure out which vehicle we budget that money in, put it in one place. When it gets used, we can apportion it back out to the vehicle that needed the repair. There is salary adjustments for our employees, similar to what we did last year. Credit and debit fees might be a good time to talk about some feedback on that. We talked about last month all of the problems we had encountered with our fees rising exponentially during last year. We finally got control of that, and we're kind of running in the heel. But our credit card fees have not been keeping up with what we have to pay our provider. Probably familiar, most places charge a percentage. We charge a flat fee of $3. So you have a $50 water bill, you pay with a credit card, it's $3. $100, you pay $3. $500, you pay $3. We pay, minimum between $4 and $5, and that's for a lower end transaction. See that when you look at the budget and revenue, we take in a little over $200,000 a year from our customers and credit card fees. We are budgeting for next year $475,000, and we will spend every penny of it. So, I wanted some feedback from you, and maybe the feedback can come from the next agenda item, but, you have some choices there. You can stick with a flat fee, you can go with a percentage fee, you can decide that that's not something that you're interested in doing, raising that fee. That's your call. But at this point, it's recovering somewhere around 40% of what we pay credit card processing. So that's a discussion that I think we need to have in a little more detail. So I have not included that in the study. So
I know the last time you spoke about that, you said that the fees got lowered tremendously.
we got much lower fees. But we pay fees to our merchant provider, which is Global Open Edge.
Oh,
And then we also pay an additional fee to our software provider to get the information fed into our utility billing system. And that's $1.25 per transaction. Fees we pay to our provider are per item fee, a discount fee, risk assessment fee, processing fee, VPN, and the list goes on. So, I've got a lot of detail that I did not bring with me because I realized it was on the agenda.
So we don't have a fee of what we could propose to bring it up to this where it's not at a net loss for the Walnut Creek?
What I've been looking at is for the majority of our customers, we actually have two contracts, and they are based on how you pay your bill, the mechanism you should pay with a credit card. One of them is a web payment.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that one, those are much more expensive for us. The average transaction on those is over $300, and so that's, those, when you start talking about the discount rates and whatever, you end up paying a lot more. The majority of our customers are on a different contract. That average, transaction on an annual basis is $90 and $100. And we're paying between $5 and $6 on that level of transaction. And again, it goes up also, not as high as what the other ones. 3.5% to 4% is what I've been kind of working with. It probably wouldn't wouldn't help us with the real high-end volume, but it's certainly better than somebody coming in to have a new meter set and have put that $2,000 roughly for a new meter set
Yeah,
in that, and paying a $3 credit card.
right.
So, we are limited by our software. They will not let us, or at least that's what I've been told,
Right.
do a combination of like a flat fee and then a percentage on top of that, because that would be the best thing. So we're looking for where the break-even point is, and maybe next month I'll be able to share that detail with you, trying to cut it down a little bit. But it's something that we really need to address. It's getting out of hand, even though we're able to get lower rates. It's just not the market for
Right.
a $3 credit card. So,
Give us those numbers.
yeah. Dues and subscriptions, there's an increase there. I know you have not, made a commitment on the PUA yet. Did include funding here if it's needed. Not, if you choose not to do it, obviously it won't be spent, but it is included in here, and I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. We added some new things in this budget. Talked about the vehicle and equipment repairs over $1,000. Put in a contingency fund for a pump station. The two that hopefully will be in operation soon. You didn't have a lot of concrete information about what the electricity costs were going to be, looked at some of the other ones, looked at their bills, what the kilowatt hours were, yada, 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 and came up with an estimate and then added some additional money. So for the two pump stations, we added a contingency of $300,000. A minimum of 125 is going to be each one for electricity, and then there's some cushion in there for whatever else might come along as we get those pump stations put into operation. Increased our bulk fuel budget to account for what we had needs for the new generators. And the good news is debt service interest payments are going down by about $67,000. Depreciation, since we are bringing new facilities online, that will need to be depreciated next year, is going up by about $300,000. At the end of the day, your year-ending balance is about $1.4 million, which is less than what we've had in the past. It's still good. I'm not worried about it. I think there is room in your revenue estimates that we will,
So about $700,000 less?
better than that.
$700,000 less? Okay.
Yeah. Enough to keep our bond coverage. It's enough to fund our reserves, pay our, fund payments, and have money.
This is another ice storm,
Hmm?
unless there's another ice storm.
Yeah, well, that's why we have savings account and we're required to keep reserve. Keeping that required reserve is something I hope we never, ever have to touch, but we also have a good amount of, working capital and savings that could get us by in case of something catastrophic. Happy to entertain any questions.
Problems with the trucks. I mean, it's just, all of the trucks have the same problem, or just various different things?
Pump station?
No, the truck.
The vehicles,
Fire vehicles.
they're pretty much random things. You wouldn't expect to go out, but have. So, one of them was, we had to replace the full wiring harness. Somehow the box lid on the fuse box under the hood, became missing. Water got in and damaged the whole fuse box, so we had to wiring harness for the truck to run right. Yeah, I don't have anything.
Hey, you get it out there, it's hard to get down in there, even with a crowbar to get those things out.
Yeah, it's random stuff like, we did have a fuel pump go out on the truck. We had to get that fixed.
The reason why I ask is because all these new vehicles, if you legalize it, hours and hours and hours, I mean, you're gonna build a major problem. I know that's what most of the guys do, is they just truck out and they would light the place.
It really depends on how the lights are wired up to. A lot of them, we bypass that, so they run when they're off. So if they believe that they're gonna sit there longer than 15 minutes, they'll go ahead and shut their truck off.
In wintertime, you know, you gotta have something to keep warm.
True. Don't want it too hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, and then one of the overages, we had a vehicle that was in a wreck. But we try to maintain a rotating truck stop. Try not to let them get much older than, that way we bypass a lot of those problems.
Are we doing anything for discounts for the policy, for insurance? Recommendation? Have you asked about that?
What kind? I review all the insurance.
I just know, like, I know, like, for Denton County, they require all their staff to do defensive driving. And they give a policy major discount for the entire group policy for everybody that drives the company vehicles.
Nope.
Ours, CML.
Yeah, it's
CML.
through Texas Municipal League, so, I mean,
They're the same way, they got TML.
oh, nope, our rep has never mentioned us. I mean, I've looked at the discounts we get, and because he was just here, we just met. I mean, overall, our insurance is pretty good. I mean, we had like, I mean, I tell you, 4 or 5 items went down this year.
Yeah.
And we had 3 go up. So,
I mean, our health insurance went down, right?
no,
Or
stayed
just
the
the
same.
same?
Stayed the same.
Like almost basically going down in a way.
Health insurance stays.
Stayed the same.
That never happens. That never happens.
So we appreciate your report.
Thank you. Nope.
So do y'all want to approve it, or you want to look at it again? Because it has to be approved by,
Our motion to approve?
oh, I mean, I'm not saying you have to,
Well,
but,
He's listening, now be quiet, he's listening to you.
we've been discussing it the entire time. Unless there's more discussion that's needed on this, I'll motion to approve, and unless somebody else wants to. Okay.
Hang on a minute. Go ahead, Denise, finish what you want to say.
no, it was just that it's available to be approved tonight, but if there was anything else that you wanted to discuss further, then it could be approved. It just has to be done before year end for it to be in effect for 2026. But if tonight's the night and y'all are good with the numbers, then absolutely approve it.
As long as she gets us back with the information on the credit card fees. just-
Yeah, and we're not gonna approve anything on that. We're just, that's on there mainly to start the discussion for next month.
Right, okay. Get a motion to approve it?
And a second by Mark.
Jack did that. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Evan. Now, consideration or action to approve changes to the credit card fees.
A motion to table that for the next meeting when she comes back with the information.
Mhm.
Did I get a second? Vote?
Any discussion on it? Find out what the fees will be. Next time. Got a part in a second.
Mm-hmm.
And you need a vote.
Got to call the vote? No, you didn't.
No, you got a first and second. We got the motion, we've got the second, now we need to vote.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next one is the engineer's report. Report.
Point of order before the engineer's report is given. According to Attorney General Paxton's office, I was given this information. I don't have to list what I want to speak about on it. It just has to be on the agenda. So you can either allow me to speak, or I can take this up with the Attorney General's office. This violates my rights under the Open Meeting Act, Government Code 551.007.
I don't have a problem if she wants to speak.
I'm not familiar with the rules and regulations, laws, or anything else, so.
I called the Attorney General's office because I wanted consultation and information directly, because the Attorney General's office of Texas is responsible for enforcing the Open Meetings Act.
You're
And
right.
that's what I was given. Public does not have to detail or itemize which areas they want to speak on. It's, as it says, scope of the right to speak. Anyone who wants to speak must be allowed to speak. The right to speak is limited to agenda items. And you can limit how much I want to talk, which generally is, a consideration. But you can't keep me from speaking on an agenda item.
Well, because it was through his office that I found that it had to be listed on
I
what
don't
there.
have to list it.
Well, I'll check with him tomorrow and we'll go from there. But it's your decision whether she speaks.
Wait, make sure we get it legal. I know it,
So there's critical things that y'all are speaking about
I
that
understand.
affect the water customers that pay the bills for the water district.
I understand.
Okay.
Let's check it
And I
out.
represent them at this point. Mr. Roy,
Let us check it out and everything. Bring it to the next meeting.
right ahead. Never filed a complaint, but I certainly will.
Okay.
This is kind of like that, being able to vote in the,
If we get past all things, we'll get it from our.
I understand, I appreciate.
I don't want to make a decision that's against the law. We're governed by the state of Texas. And what we do.
I understand that, and this has gone on for a long time. So consultation was made with the Attorney General's office, and I don't have to list every item on the agenda that I want to speak about.
Do we have the person's name that you talked to? Denise, do we have that person's name that you talked to?
I don't. Who'd you talk to at the office?
Try to extend my office.
Oh, okay, if you can send that to me.
Basically. We're moving on. And we're waiting on Trevor.
There he is.
I'm reading it right here. So a governmental body shall allow each member of the public who desires to address the body regarding an item on the agenda for an open meeting of the body to address the body regarding the item at the meeting before or during the body's consideration of that item. We're considering that item right now. I read that as he has the ability to speak on that, because she did sign up.
We've already made a decision, y'all are ready to go with Trevor.
Sure, gonna make me, if Mr. Roy could speak on my behalf, that would be great. Okay, go ahead, Trevor.
What for this month is short. The water treatment plant should be wrapping up. They're waiting to get media and the new filters, and then that is the last I had that scheduled, I think, for this week or next week. Check the contract. There are scheduling issues with the couple of things on the FM 920 booster pump station and the FM 51 booster pump station. The big thing we're doing on those is getting electric service established out there. We've got the transformer passed all for us last week. Project's in the ground, so as soon as I get those transformers, be able to hook up electricity and have those pumps on their way to foot service. Water lines, they're still working on getting water lines from the ground, so those projects are moving forward. The 537-119, the 12-inch on Knob Hill, they have, the only thing we have to do on that one is make the last of the existing 12-inch line and bed clean, and then that line will be ready to go to our test, and then that line will be ready to go to service. FM 51 elevated tank on the Wood property. They, before their first lift last week, this week, so that tank is starting to go vertical now. So, before lift, let it sit and cure, then they pull the forms off, form, and then they'll get another lift for probably next week. So eventually that tank will start going up. We're gonna get electric service to that site also. That's all I kind of have right now on project updates. Like I said, everything's slowly but surely getting finished. We're down to like one of those deals where the first half it goes fast, and the last quarter of the project kind of takes a little bit to get wrapped up. So, didn't have any private development stuff this month, as far as feasibility studies, stuff like that. I had some new ones come in today, so I'll be working on those for next month's board meeting. Probably had 2 text dot permits. A couple more on my desk that got approved, so I'll have that in my report for next month's meeting. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot more questions anybody may have.
Just a project in design phase for line item 3. I think we spoke about that one, that we're, even Bo agreed with this one, was that we were gonna not reduce the line size just to make the project extend out. We'll keep the line size as originally spec'd, but if we only had 50% of the coverage, in other words, we can only go 50% down the road, that's what we would do.
Which one's that? The 3 skillets, 5062A?
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend is.
Because otherwise you're gonna be,
sizes that that you need in the future.
and then just attach to it and move on.
Take them as far as you can go, and then in the future, you have another bond election, or, you need another source. Go trying to upsize something, trying to put in the ground. That would be my recommendation.
Okay.
Have you talked to James about it?
We have talked about it. Yes, and then we
It was
talked
like 2
about
meetings ago, he said the same thing. He
Yeah.
agreed with us. I don't remember that conversation. Okay.
Talked about it, meetings ago. Well,
think it was 3.
Discussion?
That was our discussion.
Wasn't much.
Any more discussion?
Any more? No, not on my part.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Your project report.
I will be doing Blackwood, general manager. Okay, so zone 3 is is complete with, all the change outs and everything is coming in like it's supposed to. Zone 4 is almost complete. They're just finishing up some of the meter change outs on it and some MIUs. And they will begin focusing on zone 2. The only gateway that's not up and running is the one for Thomas Tank, which we're still trying to get, electric there from Tri-County. So as soon as we get electric, that electric will go up, and that'll be the last one. And then, let's see, 30 new meters have been set. 80 meters have been changed out, 22 MIU units completed since last board meeting. Guys have done 260 work orders since last board meeting, 382 line locates completed. That actually is like one guy. There have been 5 water leaks requiring whole water notices since last board meeting. Those are attached.
Are we keeping a track of all the contractors that haven't paid? That hit our lines and just bounced? The contractors that, previously they hit our lines and bounced, have we kept a track of all those?
Yes, if our line is damaged by another person and the line is located correctly, we have that buffer zone that it gets us half the size of the pipe plus 18 on either side of it. And the last thing is, the only thing about the PUA is that an amendment is being worked on to answer the questions that you'll have. And that will allow Bowman Creek to be able to enter into PUA. The amendment will be done board members, and the PUA will be back on the agenda for discussion next.
That's something I don't know how that's even possible. Because it has to go to public comment for 90 days. Amendment changes. That was from the Texas Regional Water Association attorneys, they said that. And then the attorney for Bridgeport said that, attorney for Boyd said that. How are we bypassing that 90-day?
I know that for them to amend it for us, they have, everybody else has to repass all the notices and.
That hasn't been 90 days. That's only been 2 weeks.
And when the new one is done, they will go about the process again.
Right, but it can't be put on the agenda. It could be, I guess you could look at it, but we can't vote on it.
Correct.
Okay, do we have, I was looking at her information that she was asking about, and it was actually the same questions I had. Do we have our attorney? Has he ever reviewed?
Yes, she has. I have her responses,
When did you get the responses?
this last week,
Why haven't we got it?
because I haven't been approved to release it yet.
Every one of the board members here has an ability to receive.
I understand that, but there's nothing on here for the PUA,
No, for
for the agenda.
before board members, we can receive
Right,
that response.
and it's up to our GM to send out that information to the board.
So he's withholding information from us.
No, he is not. He hasn't seen it either.
Okay?
Because she was reaching out to the attorney that wrote it to get some clarification on her side. She sent me her first questions, but until I get her clarifications, it's not complete. It hasn't been completely reviewed. As soon as it's done, everybody will get it.
All right. How do we even join the PUA with our CCNN? It requires us to, and this is also coming from the Texas Regional Water Association. Per that law, that's in the first part of that statute, it actually has wastewater runoff. And we don't have a CCN for wastewater or runoff. We had a CCN for freshwater treatment to our customers. How is that even possible that we can join that without updating our CCN to include that? Because if one penny goes to any one of those projects that we're a part of, that's a violation of the law.
That will be made clear in the amendment. Will be made more clear in the amendment, that is, since we do not participate in wastewater or stormwater, if there are any projects pertaining to that, we do not participate as far as funding.
James is gonna have that put into the bylaw.
Correct.
We're waiting on the lawyers next month, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just waiting on her to send me her final responses on that.
When I spoke to TECQ on Friday of last week, I also went to the state capitol. There was multiple questions of why don't we just join with Springtown and expand their water treatment plant? We would be 10 steps ahead.
But we can't get water from Bridgeport, where our plant is.
We have Bridgeport.
But we are at max of what we can take out of there.
Correct, but if we expanded Eagle Mountain, they would have also put more water into Eagle Mountain.
Springtown has never mentioned one enforcement.
I spoke with Mike Kelly, he didn't have a problem with that. Something that, we're right next door. Our pipes are interconnected, seems a heck of a lot simpler.
It's gonna be a drop in the bucket compared to the amount of water that we're gonna need in
The treatment plant is based off of what our demands are with TECQ. We put a proposal to them. So if that proposal is we need this many millions of gallons, we need to put that proposal together to TECQ. And if we're proposing to possibly join with Springtown, then we need to start talking and looking into that. We don't need to just have all our eggs in one basket, especially when there's been so many errors with this particular document.
So not all of our eggs are in one basket, we're also looking to join the Parker County TUA.
Right, and I'm gonna be going to that meeting on the 21st, which is a Friday. I don't know if anybody else is gonna be thinking about going to it. It's 9 to 2. I asked James.
If you do, I need to know it because I will have to
Put
do
it,
a potential quorum.
correct, and I told James
If
to do
there's
that.
3 of y'all. If he doesn't do that, I do that.
Okay, well, you need,
But I would need to know if more than 2 of you are going to that meeting to be able to put that out. Otherwise, there's a quorum of our board attending another meeting, and you can't do that.
I would have liked to have gone to the West Fork at PUA meeting, but I was only alerted 2 hours and 8 minutes before the meeting started last week, and I was an hour and a half plus away.
When I was reminded of it.
If we're going to be doing something this major, we need to be more involved in this. We don't need to be just constantly pushed to the back table and then said, here, sign this right now. I mean, I've asked that multiple times. I don't know how many more times I need to pound that into somebody's head.
Well, you know, those meetings, there's
Then they're not.
publications.
They're not even on the website.
So the West Fork PUA ones haven't been previously posted.
Oh, because it's not a public entity. Right.
Mayor's coalition,
Right.
why they weren't public.
Not one meeting's been posted publicly on the dates.
Because, as you're still listening, have to post the meeting.
I'm not saying they don't have to, but if we're gonna be the biggest players paying a little bit less than 1/3, like I said before, they need to speak to us. They need to be more open about that. These secret meetings are just, they're being very annoying. I'm being very polite about that right now. That's why I'm making the effort to go to the Parker County one, because that one's posted. That's on the Parker County website. Hopefully more of you guys could go to it too. Not saying that I'm gonna side on either side of the scale, but I'm not making it where I'm just gonna be butthead about it and not gonna do anything about it and say I'm not gonna listen to you. But if the information's not gonna come to me, I can't sit there and I can't check off on it.
I agree, but not the one that notifies you when last board TUA meeting for.
Everybody's a member of the public here, even though you're an employee. Each and every one of you have the ability to email me too when you hear about that information. When I ask that information of that PUA, it's dead silence. In fact, I get a brick wall. Thank you.
More discussion?
Any more?
Ready to adjourn the meeting. Go on.
Well, we still have, I guess that's it, yeah.
Yeah. Get your gavel and tell me a time.
Meeting at 5:05. Have a motion.
The adjourn?
No, you just did. You just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give it even though it's outward.
It's been done before, but it's done. What's up, Dakota?